Hi everyone, and welcome to this new episode of Furt'Her. Today, we highlight women in Web3, in blockchain and AI. And today we have the pleasure to host Francesca Martina with us. She's a director of communication at Avinasi Labs. And I would like to ask you, Francesca, to introduce yourself.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Glad to be here. My name is Francesca, and I just joined the Avinasi Labs team, which is a longevity tech project, a startup. And I've been working in Web3 for about 4 years now, actually almost five. I started the journey investing in Bitcoin in 2016, and then just joined the community after in about 2020 during the pandemic. And I moved from doing BD to marketing and now to communication with Avinasi Labs. It was really after working in different niches in crypto space, from Web3 to funding my own project to bring more women into the space. So more of a educational initiative, as well as diving deep into the world of zero knowledge proof with ZK Pass. I fell in love with the DeSci, decentralized science, and the longevity research space. The intersection specifically with bringing decentralized technologies to longevity research and science, and being able to apply those ethos that we love about decentralized science, decentralized technologies and Web3 into the academia and scientific field.
And how did you find out about Avinasi Labs?
Oh wow! Well, through my network,
Ah, okay.
and I was already doing some. Whenever I am in between jobs, or whenever I try to hop into a new niche in crypto, what I usually do, which I think it's a great way to bring value and get to know people, and then from there be able to onboard the opportunities that are more aligned with you because you already work with the team. So I was donating my time and volunteering to do the DeSci report, which is a monthly report that actually a quarterly report that we do with the our side team. And as I collaborated on the creation of this report for a couple of times, afterwards the team and know that I was interested in diving deeper into the DeSci and the longevity research space. I was able to offer. I was offered this position in working with the team. So there are actually two projects. It's one is RSI, which is a DAO to bring the community, the centralized science community, together. And then Avinasi Labs is actually launching a platform, a product that I will tell you more about.
Yeah, sure, because I'm very curious to know what is Avinasi Labs doing for longevity?
Right. So the goal is expediting longevity research. And how can we do that by integrating Web3 technologies is by leveling up, upgrading the data management infrastructure. So we call it the Avinasi Labs is practically launching the first AI native chain for longevity. So imagine a platform that powered by AI and allows you to have verification of private data, where users can practically participate in the benefiting science, right? So supporting the research in science by giving their private data. But this time, giving their private data while knowing exactly how their data is being used and being incentivized
Okay.
to give their private data. So practically, this platform collects data from users and other partners, and this data goes to train models on aging clocks specifically. There
Okay.
are different
Yeah.
debates about aging clocks. I am slowly learning all the details about this aspect. There is so much to learn in research and being in contact with scientists on a day-to-day basis. So aging clocks are tools that allows us to match the biomarkers to a system that allows you to understand the causality of aging. And we want to utilize technologies like AI and blockchain technology specifically for the tokenization of the data economy and the incentives as well, and the privacy to be able to utilize cryptography, so private secure systems for the exchange of data, and then of course utilize AI to help us gain insights
Yeah.
and even personalize health and longevity tips that a user could receive in the palms of the hand, specifically from a model that was trained by scientists.
Okay, wow. So on one side, you have the users who will provide different type of maybe health data, medical data,
Yeah,
personal data about
yeah,
their health and condition that could be incentivized, tokenized. And this is going to be trained with AI to identify different trends and also
yeah.
to be able maybe to develop then, how do you say, solution or to develop.
Solutions to different therapies, right? Because
Okay,
these
okay,
aging
okay.
clocks, allows us to test different longevity therapies that will allow us to understand how these
Yeah.
therapies are effective to the
Yeah.
individuals and the collective.
But do you have a focus on longevity? This is
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay, okay. It's
Avinasi
not
is
for.
specifically
Okay,
focused on longevity and the field, and collaborating with the researchers to
okay.
expedite longevity research.
And you personally, like, what do you find fascinating about longevity?
Okay, great question. So there are, I thought about this, and there are two parts, right? I think professionally, and my curiosity is that this field, put into questions the vision of how ourselves as human beings can evolve, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are the potentials? What are the potential repercussions, right? The ethical questions, but also if we look at human beings into this, universal and not just world aspect of it, right? We look at potential of space travel, which is a big topic, especially now with the elections, and Elon Musk having the Mars mission being practically supported by this administration. We see that the potential also of space travels will lead us to having perhaps to make certain decisions, evolutionary decisions. And I find it at first this topic extremely frightening. And as I dove deep into the research and also into the community, right? Because the community is made of individuals that are extremely passionate about this topic, and I just fell in love. It was a bit of an obsession, and it really opened up my mind to why to the potential and the possibilities that slowing down aging, rejuvenation therapies, and the ability to live forever, or potentially to live for a long time, right? There is, I always say, longevity. There is 50 shades of longevity, from just lifestyle intervention to more, invasive potential, like Neuralink, what I merging with machine. So there is a little bit for everyone, for every how far you want to go with longevity and apply that mindset to your life, you can do so, and participate in this movement. So it's not just a movement for billionaires, which are what I often hear, that want to live forever. It's a way to push the boundaries, right, of exploration of humanity. And for me personally, I think that I just reached a milestone in my age, and I think it's amazing being able to grow older and wiser. But I think we will be able to maximize human potential as an individual human potential if we are able to live a bit longer even and better. I think that an individual reaches 40 years old, 50 years old, and has learned so much about life, and in a way it has just begun. And
Yeah.
if we will be able to add a few more years to our life and even live better without having to have medications or diseases, we will bring a big impact to our life. And I would love to see that for myself and for others.
So, of what I understand, in terms of the collectivity of experts, it's and about the research, it's not only about longevity with transhumanism with machine,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
also with maybe an update of the lifestyle or something else. So it's not only in the collective of the experts, you have a mix of expertise, right?
Yes, absolutely. There is, of course, influencers like Brian Johnson, and then there are researchers more like David Sinclair or Aubrey de Grey that have been, in the space for a really long time, pioneering this research. They have different approach. One is more focused on the applying the, don't die healthy lifestyle, right? Making sure that you measure and understand how certain lifestyle choices affects your biological age, as we were talking about, how it affects your aging clocks. And the other side, we have individuals that believe that through genetic therapies, we can actually, immediately at one point we'll be able to reach, maybe 10 years, 20-year rejuvenation process through genetic therapies.
Okay, that's great to hear that there is a variety of experts. And what was the feeling or the first thought of those experts when you reached out and told them about the project? Like, were they like surprised or like, what's this? Decentralized data? Like,
Well, actually, okay, I'll give you a little bit of a backstory.
yes.
I was part of the organizing team, event team coordinator for the World Stem Cell Summit 2 years in
Ah,
a row,
okay,
and
okay.
that's where I met for the first time in 2010. Aubrey de Grey, that was one of the speaker and scientists presenting his research, and that's where I learned. It was a big deal. Like everybody was talking about this scientist, and whenever I heard about anti-aging being a disease, right? The vision of aging being a disease, I thought, wow, this guy's super crazy.
Yeah,
How can he think something like that, right? And then I dove deeper into the biology and also into the how in nature we find animals that actually don't age and degenerate like we do, which is extremely interesting. And I learned that, through the years I follow here and there, Aubrey de Grey was his research there was coming out, and then learned that he was partnering up with Vitalik, and
yeah.
um, Vitalik started this movement with the pop-up cities, and it started with the first meeting in Montenegro, where experts from all directions, which is also longevity research and blockchain and AI and so what, came together to create a multidisciplinary community that focus on expediting and supporting innovation, but also the creation of uh, permanent hubs in different countries, and with the hope also to change the legislations that support these changes on a larger scale.
So those are the pop-up cities, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so and then I was able to attend Vitalia, which is now called Infinita City. And Vitalia, the pop-up city, was a 2 month experience in Honduras, and specifically in the charter city of Prospera,
Okay.
which is practically a different economic zone of the Honduras country, and it's called the Zede, and where practically the community is allowed to uh, create different legislations, both for expanding the economics. So,
Okay.
like implementing blockchain and Bitcoin as one of the. I think the headphones moved a little bit,
Ah, okay.
and then
Okay.
of course to create an area where we are able to test some of these therapies and without necessarily having to endure the endless bureaucracy of the FDA approval.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So it came
A safe
already
manner,
from previous
right? So
experience. So the experts were already having a step in Web3, so you didn't have to convince the health
yeah,
expert. Okay.
there
So
is
yeah.
there are different shades, right?
Yes,
So
indeed.
last year in May, I spoke at the Longevity Summit in Dublin and presented a concept to for Web3, and I had you know attendees that were familiar with Web3, others that didn't really like crypto at all, and they were not convinced, extremely skeptical. And I think the difference and the misconception that we have often about our industry is that we have the digital currency, that cryptocurrency, that can be look at speculative, nothing to back them up, but also this infrastructure is a technology that allows for data management
Yeah.
and tokenization, right? So it's not just a cryptocurrency, a digital currency in itself. The technology holds value because it allows us to create a data sharing economy and take ownership of our data amongst so many different aspects, like of course sharing and exchanging transactions from one part of the world to another without needing the banks, of course.
And did you have to think about tokenomics? Do you know how you're going to manage the supply?
Well, I don't take care of the tokenomics part of the
Okay,
project.
okay,
Luckily,
okay.
we have all different types of experts. I
Yeah.
find I still have to really dive deep into this part. There are so many areas that, in technology that you have to learn. And I love the aspect that your data, your private data, becomes a way to exchange and receive incentives. I really love this aspect because we see how easily, especially with social media, with platforms like Google's and so many others, or even just like if you have done any if you were part of any research, you usually never understand how your data is being used, or not always receive incentives to have your data being used, right? For an example, like 23andMe, you pay actually for supplying your genotyping data,
Yeah.
and then that data sits in a third-party platform that
Hmm.
then is allowed to share your data without your consent, and that raises a lot of different issues. And I think the part of the really tokenomics applied to DeSci and research and longevity, so more for the scientific part of it, it's a great crossroad because it allows for really utilizing data and having the individual, the user, participate in research and removing, kind of like the barriers and the middleman, and being able to utilize this format of tokenomics, which I think the data share economy, which I think it's a great feature of the Web3 movement.
No, indeed, it's amazing to hear how this is being built. And
Mm.
I'm wondering, I have plenty of questions, but I'm
Yeah,
wondering, like,
please.
where is this going? What are the milestones that you would like to implement in order to make of this project a success?
Yeah, definitely collaboration. I think it's one of the most important thing because the space is fragmented, and as I think it's great in a way because it allows for so many different projects to pop up and it kind of grow their space. But in another aspect, one of the issues with research and longevity research specifically is the possibility to receive high quality data.
Mm-hmm.
And this allows projects like Avinasi and other platforms that I kind of come across, allows for create more of a general consensus and general collaboration
Mm-hmm.
where more researchers, scientists, institutions can plug in and being able to utilize a data that is being approved. It has a sort of compliance to it, and the user is informed and incentivized, but also it allows for creating different potential groundbreaking insights. So the goal is definitely to create a safe and secure infrastructure that is
Mm-hmm.
able to reward the user as well as maintaining a privacy, and then being able to test and create a platform that allows us for AI to give us insights into these aging, biological age clocks, and understand better the mechanisms
Mm-hmm.
of the biomarkers and of these aging clocks, and then being able to test the therapies, the
Yeah.
longevity therapies, and utilize this data to be able to understand how individuals will be affected by these genetic therapies or any other sorts of therapies that it takes time, and we definitely need to be mindful about how it affects individuals in the long term. So
And do you reach
this
out to research centers? Are they willing to collaborate or?
Yeah, I also reach out. I've been researching a lot the longevity ecosystem. I wanted to focus a lot on understanding what initiatives are already out there that focus on bringing institutions, scientists together, and reach out to them. And you'll be surprised because I feel like this field has been kind of shone for a really long time, and this is kind of the time of renaissance
Hmm?
for the longevity research,
Okay.
and receiving support in so many different ways, and from also the crypto, the Web3 community, that is allowing it for new excitement, fresh blood, and being able to really create a tangible um, tangible results. One of course, I don't know if you're familiar with the X Prize. The X Prize was launched to for the potential winners of anyone that comes up with the best longevity research
Okay.
rejuvenation therapy by 2030. And the prize is $110 million. Is the largest prize that has been you know uh, set aside for longevity research. So all the most important researchers groups are focusing on winning that prize
Okay.
and
Okay.
creating testing, creating therapies and platforms. So this is a process that and a platform that allows also for the potential success, and expedite this process in the longevity research.
And in terms of quality of data, because you mentioned some compliance about getting the data, I was wondering how is it different from today collection data from hospital or research center from the people, from the user or the client, the patient, and your approach. How are you will make sure that the data is qualitative, that the people fill it in properly? I don't know if it's a form or if they have to meet a visio.
Mhm.
How are you going to make sure that the data is going to be qualitative?
Yeah, there is a mix and match of these approaches. Usually, we want to utilize technology in a way that removes human error, right?
Okay.
Every single time that we tend to go and input data ourselves, then there is a potential for error.
Yeah.
But when we utilize this device or technology or cryptography or like multi-party computation allows us for to having algorithms to test and verify if certain information are true without necessarily having to have the human operator and change or input data. And that's why I think this is one of the most exciting time, because we have access to these technologies and we're able to integrate it. So just kind of give you like a user flow. Right now when we go to hospitals, first of all, we don't access our profiles many of the time, right? We don't have the possibility to log in into our dashboard and see what the doctors see.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, a lot of times when we request our results, uh, we get pieces of paper or PDFs sent to us,
Yes.
and it's never it actually be able to have a platform where you keep your data secure and it's yours,
Yes.
and you're able to utilize it so that you get a bit of a bigger picture of the different biomarkers. And for biomarkers, I mean, your blood pressure, your blood test, and any sort of test, MRIs and so on, that you might be doing throughout your life.
Yeah.
So what if we, instead of bringing this paper, I have what's it called? I have files of papers of different
Yeah.
tests throughout the years that I bring from one country to the next, and it's just like, why do we have to do that when we can have infrastructures, technologies that allows us to really have insights also on how to put this data together. Just give
And
you a very quick this, because I found it to be super insightful. I've been testing, because it's one of the most important part, I think, of longevity is, and decentralized science is testings on yourself, right?
yeah.
So I did a couple of blood tests, and I was showing that my vitamin D was low, and I took some supplements and then took the test again, and then and it showed again that I was low, and trying to understand more about the insights of why this vitamin D kept being low. I understood that the vitamin D, works with different synergy, right? So if you don't have a certain level of magnesium or ability to process the vitamin D, then a lot of times then you still show a vitamin D deficiency. There is not that the vitamin D deficiency is a result, but there is other underlying
Yes.
functions and that are working behind the scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the ability to, but doctors never mentioned this to me,
Yeah.
right? So by being able to have access to these technology and platforms and even AI diagnosis, we are able to have better insight, have preventative medicine at the palm of our hands, and that's super exciting. And being able to access, of course, this data all in one place and decide how we utilize this data. So completely a different setup, and being able to utilize wearables
Yeah.
to that and collect
Yeah.
these data speeds also to your to these platforms that allows you to practically understand a little bit more 360 degree, how your body is functioning and how you can make this operating system function better.
This is what you meant when you meant to remove everything that is provided by human to avoid mistakes. Is that those wearables can like calculate how many steps you make a day. They can calculate different
Yeah,
things, how you sleep or whatever. And this data collected through IoT is
yeah,
collected and used for your person and trained for the
yeah.
collectivity. Okay, okay,
Yeah, it allows you to look at patterns, right?
yeah.
Maybe
But
maybe I
yeah,
feel a little bit tired or
yeah,
foggy or not unable to focus or unable to sleep. I can go look at my data and understand, is it
Yeah.
something I ate? Is it something, how is it connected into my body? Our system is so
So yeah, but that's interesting to
complex.
know that the data collection is coming from either your test at hospitals or
Yeah,
also from wearables.
wearables. Yep,
So
exactly.
okay,
Which is something completely new. We
yes.
haven't, the users haven't really seen that before. So
No, there are a
it's
few
really cool.
apps where you can monitor
Yeah,
some statistics
right.
about your sleep, about your diet or whatever, but there is not yet this emphasis on gathering and collecting all the data to get some insights and go further with
Yeah.
longevity. So that's very interesting to
So we
hear.
collaborate with many of these platforms and wearables
Yes,
and pop-up communities to be able to bring this data together
yeah.
and then utilize it for longevity research.
But then the user, if you already collect from different sources, the end user needs to give his consent that you use all the
Yeah.
sources, right?
Yeah, the users will be informed and even in certain ways can decide which type of
Yeah.
research
Okay.
their data is utilized for.
Okay.
And many times they can choose to anonymize the data so
Okay.
that there is no personal information that would connect it back to them,
Yeah.
or they can decide to um, identify themselves and utilize their names.
Okay.
So there are different options.
Okay, wow. It's very interesting. And I
Yeah.
had so many other questions, but the time is running out. So I will need to close here. Francesca, it has been very empowering to hear from you and to
Thank you.
listen to this new industry, like going through Web3 and willing to build an infrastructure that is decentralized and allowing users to be incentivized for their own data. We know that this is the mindset of Web3. It's ownership, but it's in the different across the different industry. It's amazing the different projects that are being built, and I'm very amazed to hear what you're doing. And I will be, of course, looking forward to see the developments of Avinasi Labs and how you're going to take it further. And let us know if there is like somewhere that we can follow your project and where is it easier for the people who listen to follow you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. You can follow us at Avinasi Labs, which is Avinasi. And Avinasi is actually a Hinduist word. And I believe it means non-destructible. And so that's where it comes from. And of course, Avinasi Labs. And on LinkedIn, on Twitter, right now, our platform hasn't launched yet, and we will definitely share more insightful information and product updates as well on Substacks. But crypto Twitter, definitely you can find us at Avinasi Labs.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Francesca, for this great talk. And I'm really looking forward to hear from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Bye bye.
Thanks.